Hi, y'all. So my name is Evelise Fajardo. I am SGA's election commissioner, and this is the potential candidate informational. Some of y'all might have not been able to attend one of these meetings, but this will count as a meeting requirement fulfilled. So what is SGA? SGA is the official voice of the undergraduate student body at UNT, and they are committed to making sure that each student's opinions, concerns, those are heard throughout the administration. It is comprised of an executive branch, student senate, Supreme Court, and an intern program. The executive branch is comprised of the president and vice president, chief of staff, communications director, outreach director, HR director, student allocations, deputy chief of staff, director of diversity and inclusion, intern program director. So the president and vice presidential positions are elected by the student body. They must campaign, attend the debate, and win the popular vote. The exec positions under them are appointed through an application and interview process, and they are presented to Senate to be approved. All of the positions in this executive branch are paid positions, so that is something to keep in mind if you are planning on running for the president and vice presidential positions. These are also jobs. So, here we have the Supreme Court. The judicial branch is made up of our Supreme Court and the Advocate General. This branch works to uphold the integrity of UNT SGA's bylaws and constitution. To become a member of the Supreme Court, you are appointed by the SGA president and then approved by Senate, and applications are available around the start of the academic year. Senate is a body of 45 senators made up of representatives from each of the colleges. So, based off the population of students in each college, that's how senators are allocated. So, the more dense population, the more senators that there will be. The Student Senate is the legislative body of the association. And to be a senator, you also must campaign and win the popular vote, and that might be why you're here as well. The intern program is comprised of 25 diverse student leaders that go through intensive leadership training about how to put on large scale events, building strong relationships with one another in order to create and cultivate that next generation of student leaders at UNT. They work closely with the executive branch, as I mentioned earlier, and applications are available to first year and transfer students over summer and beginning of fall semester. The application and interview process prior to being selected by the intern program director and the program's 5 mentors. So you wouldn't be running to be an intern, part of the intern program right now. The election board, which is what I oversee, has the power to rule on matters pertaining to elections, included but not limited to interpretations and violations of the election code, questions of candidate eligibility not covered in Article 5, Section 1A of the SGA bylaws, candidate and referendum party complaints and concerns, questions of referendum eligibility, filing dates and deadlines, and the certification of election results. It consists of 6 members and an election commissioner. The election commissioner position is paid. They are appointed by the SGA president and approved by Senate as well, and applications are available at the start of the academic year for these. So after all of that more basic info about the inner workings of SGA, the surface level of it all, welcome to the start of election season. So we'll go over qualifying for candidacy and a brief overview of campaigning practices. Kind of just the basics that you need to know right now that might be a little bit more relevant to the position we're in today. So for the presidential position, the vice presidential position, and Senate, which are all of the positions that you could be running for right now, all of these things apply to all of those positions. You must apply via the application, which opens March 10th at 8 a.m. And I will notify applicants by email of your eligibility for candidacy. This binds you to election regulations, which in short means the election code. Only in the event that a position is running unopposed should a write-in candidate be allowed. After the application closes, write-in candidates may file a voluntary compliance notice with the election board in order to be considered for candidacy. Once eligibility is confirmed, all candidates should be able to participate in forums, debates, election guides, or other events deemed appropriate by the election commissioner, which I'll go into a little bit later in our calendar. You may withdraw your name from the ballot at any time prior to 5 p.m. on April 2nd, and you must meet active member eligibility requirements as stated in the SGA Constitution and Article 12 of SGA bylaws. These things will be confirmed by the election advisor. So that is my advisor. It also applies to individuals running as write-in candidates. You must meet with me, the election board commissioner, to receive election code info. All of those dates will be shown a little bit later when I show you the calendar, but essentially that's just attending an election code meeting. That is non-negotiable. You do have to go to one of those meetings because they are offered every single day during this specific week. And I won't be able to record it the way I'm doing this. So please keep that in mind. Overview of campaign policy. So these are just very, very small amount of scraping the top of what is a yes and a no. Basically, if you're campaigning, that's any activity by a candidate or ticket member that is intended or likely to affect how a voter casts a ballot. This includes placing many signs or the like on display and how the solicitation of the vote of any UNT student. It includes, but not limited to, distributing campaign materials, seeking endorsement, announcing or discussing potential candidacy and or ticket names in print, broadcast, public forum, or any other media, wearing accessories such as buttons, stickers, or similarly explicit items reflecting an affiliation with a candidate or ticket, posting signage, or disseminating any campaign material via social media. This continued, candidate and referendum parties shall take reasonable measures to ensure that every individual campaigning on behalf or volunteering for the candidate/referendum party is aware of campaign regulations and guidelines. This means that if your campaign team is breaking the election code, that reflects on you personally as a candidate. You will be the one penalized for your campaign team or people volunteering for you breaking the election code. Those infractions, you will be held liable for them even if it wasn't you specifically directing the offending action. So that is essentially what that means. And that is something people often forget. So it's something I really want to emphasize to y'all. Candidates may only begin publicizing their campaigns after all of the election code meetings scheduled on the election calendar have been held. So this means it doesn't matter if you went to the first election code meeting on Monday, you have to wait until I'm completely done with all of them on Friday. Candidates and referendum parties shall abide by all university policies which supersede election board mandates and election code regulations. I will go over all of that stuff in more detail and depth at the actual election code meetings. So if any of that is confusing, you will have a lot of time to ask me during the week of March 22nd through 26th, as noted on the election code calendar. As y'all can see, this kind of just is an overview of everything that we have planned. I can go a little bit more in depth. So essentially, applications open March 10th at 8 a.m. They close on Monday, March 22nd at 5 p.m. And then that night is our first election code meeting from 7 to 8 p.m. And we have an election code meeting every single day that week, but you don't have to attend all of them. You just have to make sure you attend one, where I will go a lot more in depth in the election code itself. The following, also, When the applications close, that's when you're able to start submitting complaints, which again, I'll go more into that during the election code meetings, but there's a specific form you're supposed to fill out and you're supposed to email it to me. That will be discussed later. So for campaign week, Monday will be the president and VP candidate takeovers on the SJ Instagram. Tuesday the 30th is of campaign week is Meet the Senators highlights on the SJ Instagram. We will be providing you with a kind of Canva Instagram story highlight for you to fill out so that every candidate has the same amount of information put on there. And it will be up to you to return those back to us in a timely manner so we can make sure your stuff gets put up there. And we encourage y'all to do kind of a takeover on your own Instagram. There's generally a lot more senators that are going through this process versus president and vice president candidates. So this really streamlines it for us and will get us more engagement in that space versus takeovers. Wednesday, March 31st of campaign week is the presidential debate, which is 6 to 8 p.m. We are hoping to have this in the Lyceum. If that doesn't work out, obviously we are pretty familiar with Zoom at this point, and that will be the case. If it is possible to have it in person and people are comfortable doing that, we'll do that and live stream. Similarly, that Thursday, it will be pretty much a very similar setup for the senators as far as the Lyceum and live streaming or Zoom. It won't be a debate. It will be more set up as like a panel, and we will be getting questions about different initiatives that senators want to do and just asking those. It won't be a debate style. Friday, the university is closed. So campaign week is over. 5 p.m. Candidates can no longer withdraw from the ballot. Generally not a problem, but it is something to keep in mind. April 5th, general election voting opens at 8 a.m. That goes on until Thursday at 5 p.m. 8 a.m. on April 9th is the final deadline for complaints to be submitted. I will not be looking at any violation complaints if they are not sent by 8 a.m. on Friday, April 9th. Final general election report release will be at 5 p.m. on that same day. So hopefully if we don't have to engage in the runoff campaigning, that will be when we have all of the results from the election. So if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. My email is right there. Please only use that email to contact me because I will not be responding to any direct messages or anything like that. I want to make sure I have it all in one place. So please only contact me at evelise.wahardo@unt.edu. Feel free to reach out to let me know if you have any concerns or anything like that. But again, I am going to reiterate, we are having election code meetings for the whole point of me going deeper into the election code so that y'all are comfortable understanding everything. But yes, so that's all I have. Yeah, so y'all are good to go. Oh, I just hit myself.